Party people, what's going on? It's Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com, and I want to welcome you guys back to another special edition of Inside the Valley, the podcast that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. Of course, got one of my co-hosts, still got a third man. He's out there in the wilderness. He'll find his way home one day. But right now, I got one of my co-hosts, the man to the right, always polite. He is a long-time A&T insider, a beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades. Currently, he serves as the president of the Greensboro chapter of AAF. But more importantly, he is my right-hand man, Craig Turner. What's up, CT?
Hey, what's up, Samaz? Aggie Pride back for this last week. Last week of the official regular season. Yeah, just the regular season.
Yeah. One last ride, man. And I tell you, it's been a arduous journey. We're gonna talk a lot about the last game of the football season. Play Elon on Saturday. Right now we're sitting at 2 wins, trying to get that third win. And last week, boy, the friendly confines of Truist Stadium became a little shop of horrors because for the third time this season at home, we've given up a 60 burger. Yeah. And the Monmouth Hawks were ranked 12th in the country when they came to the game. They lived up to the hype. That was an impressive outfit we saw across the field. And the final score was 63-19? That sound about right?
Yeah.
Good googly movie. Yeah, so that hey Craig, that was a rough one. What was your thoughts about that one? Real quick.
It went about what I expected. We were overmatched going in. I knew it. I think the coaches knew it. And Monmouth, like I said last week, their offense is incredibly good. They are really, really good. They can hit you over the top. They can run through you. They've got a lot of weapons, a lot of speed at the skill positions, and they're a big physical football team. And they pretty much did whatever they wanted to do.
Anything they wanted, yeah.
I
saw at the second half they were doing a raffle with their fans, and they said you pick the next touchdown we score, and so whoever donated the most money got to choose how they scored the next. I mean, it was that bad. And Craig, like you say, they have a potent offense, and our defense was opposite. Good Lord, we couldn't tackle, we couldn't stay in lanes, we couldn't get off blocks. Craig, that was the rough one.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why they're 12th in the country. There's a reason why they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and you look at teams like that, like Monmouth and Villanova. They're on a different plane, and let's just be real about it. They've got a lot of talent on their football team. Callahan's been there for 3 decades. I can't remember them ever being below 7 wins that I can remember over the last decade or so. So they're a juggenaut.
They were a heavyweight when we were in the Big South. They were the team to beat when we were in the Big South Conference.
Yeah, and they were killing everybody in too. So there was nothing. Nothing new. They're a top 10 team, and they've got probably about a half a dozen guys that probably is going to end up on somebody's NFL roster. So they're just that good.
Yeah. Well, so we know we got a lot of work to do. We're going to talk about this wild press conference that took place on Monday. And see, my goal, Craig, I'm trying to get close to Coach Gibbs on in the social aspect because I want to invite him over for some high stakes poker because I'm gonna take all his money because Coach Gibbs ain't got no poker face. You know exactly what he's thinking and how he's feeling. He can't sugarcoat nothing. That was it was action-packed press conference, probably the most entertaining one if you're just a bystander of the season. So much information, so much transparency. He called a lot of people out, players, and it seemed like his coaches, some assistant coaches might be on the hot seat. But we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Elon because that's the nearby rival. And coach said, look, if we can beat Campbell, we can beat Elon. That's something to hang your hat on. That's something to help recruiting. It's personal pride thing. You always want to beat your local next door neighbor. So we got a chance to have something to salvage for the end of the season. We're gonna talk about Money Brown for the 99 in the 2000s Cash Money Records. I tell you, Money Brown is on another stratosphere. That brother, 4 field goals, 3 from 50 yards plus. I think he already got most of the school records, but I think he's shooting for a couple of more in his last game. So we talk about Money Brown, and then we go next week. We got our annual. That's our last show of 2025. So we're gonna have our annual postseason awards. I mean, not postseason, but the 2025 awards. And if you've been to the A&T Fan Forum this afternoon, we announced the semifinalists, who's going to be the Supreme Misfit, also known as the Poster of the Year. So we got 11 guys who right now who was selected for their posting prowess this season. If you go to the A&T Fan Forum in the football board, and you see the names, and go ahead and vote. We're going to let the fans narrow down the semifinalists to the finalists. So the top guys will be in that smaller group. So you got a week to vote on that, and some interesting names, some usual suspects, and some new guys. So check out the Poster of the Year nominees. That's incredible. That's one of the most prestigious awards in the world. Really. Oscar, Emmy, Tony, and Misfit. That's like, I don't know which one you want to have. But look, we got before we get started, right? And everybody, while you're listening, go ahead and hit that subscription button. You can like it too. I don't care if you like it, but just subscribe. We need more subscribers. So let's try to get over. Let's try to get near 1,000 before the season's over next week. So tell your mom, tell your friends, and create some Google accounts and start subscribing. But before we get started with the show, we want to go back to last week because the score was bad, but it wasn't all bad because we had a very moving and important tribute. You were at the stadium. I think it was the second quarter. Had a tribute over the loudspeaker for a fallen Aggie, somebody a couple decades ago who actually passed away during a homecoming game, and his legacy and his impact never be forgotten. And finally, 2025, the school got a chance to do kind of like a formal tribute to him during the game, and his family members were in attendance. So I want to bring to the show, of course, I'm talking about Travis Kelly, and he passed away in 1982. But I want to bring to the show one of his teammates who was actually, him and a lot of other important guys played an integral role in making that event on Saturday come to fruition. Let me bring into for the first time former A&T outside linebacker, Mr. Wallace Means. What's going on, Mr. Means? How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me, man.
Living the dream, man. So like we said, last year, let's see, I'm a diehard Aggie. Craig, he's ain't much about A&T athletics he don't know about, but he knew about Travis Kelly. But last year we brought in one of your teammates, Kevin Robinson. Mm-hmm. He was a great guest, and he informed me and a lot of our viewers of the story about Travis Kelly. And that was my first time knowing about that. And I was, wow, it's crazy. And he gave us a little bit of background on how he passed away on the field, and said he was wearing his jersey when he was being taken to Moses Cone Hospital, and his number had gotten retired unofficially, and then somehow went back into rotation. He wore number 6. You and your teammates and all you guys, you always wanted to do something more. You weren't satisfied with that memory of your teammate just fading slowly into people's, the back people's mind. You want to keep that in the forefront. So tell me a little bit about this journey on honoring Travis Kelly and really what he meant to you.
Okay, sure. Honoring Travis was kind of a 2-year labor and love, man. We've been working on this for over 2 years, as far back as Coach Vincent Brown. And we've been talking to AD Earl Hilton, and we finally was able to bring some things together this past weekend.
Okay.
And Earl gave us a couple of people from athletics that really helped bring this together, Samaj. So we were able to bring 25 of Travis's family members together, namely his 88-year-old mother, who had not been back to a football game since that October 30th date, 1982.
Wow.
So it had been 43 years since she'd been in that stadium for a football game. So we put together some things to honor her. We really wanted to honor Travis's memory, but we wanted to make sure we honored her and gave her some closure on this deal as well. So we gave her a framed number 6 football jersey, a portrait of Travis. We gave her a glass encased football, A&T football, that was signed by Chancellor James Martin, signed by AD Earl Hilton, as well as Coach Sean Gibbs. It was beautiful. We gave her some blue and gold roses, and a plaque and a banner also to honor Travis. So it was a big deal. And if you were in the stadium during the second quarter, the first time out of the second quarter, there was a jumbotron, a scoreboard tribute that showed a very nice picture of Trav, and the announcer, Mr. Joseph Level, just did an amazing job of capturing everybody's attention. Made it kind of a somber moment, but he really gave a wonderful tribute to Travis.
You know the backstory about that too, and Joseph Level, personally, he knows about that tragedy that the Kelly family and you guys experienced. His son was a top prep basketball star. He passed away suddenly on the court, and he came on our show a couple of years ago and shared that story. So him reading the tribute, probably the reason why he was so emotional, it had to kind of touch some chords that he personally has experienced. Let me ask you if you got a minute. Let me show you that I was in the stadium and I got my phone out and I captured some of that tribute.
And honor our forever fallen Aggie, Travis Noel Kelly. On October 30th, 1982, during our Aggie homecoming football game, Travis's life was tragically cut short while doing what he loved, representing North Carolina A&T State University on this very field. Today, decades later, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that Travis Kelly's legacy will never be forgotten. Please join us in showing love, care, and respect to the Kelly family who are here in attendance with us this afternoon.
And that's a picture of them on the jumbotron, and the players are all standing at attention.
Thank you.
And you can tell that this was, I guess, expressed to the staff and the players on the sideline by Coach Gibbs. Coach Gibbs, obviously, he's a friend of the show, and he's a football historian. So I'm sure you had a conversation with him at some point. What was your interaction with Coach Gibbs in this whole process?
Coach Gibbs has been fantastic during this whole process. He actually gave us his commitment that after this game on Saturday, that as long as he's at North Carolina A&T, no one will ever wear number 6 as long as he's here. And
wow.
Chancellor Martin reaffirmed that same commitment to Travis Kelly's mother that as long as he's chancellor at North Carolina A&T, no one will wear number 6. So we were very excited about that, man.
Oh, that's perfect. So that came full circle. And I know, just talking to some of your contemporaries like K-Rob and Alan Hooker. Alan Hooker has played a big role in getting this off the ground. That was kind of a sore subject because the promise was made during the 80s that was going to be retired, and somehow just got lost in translation. It went back into the circuit, and no knock on the players. We got some great players wearing it right now, but once that clock hits 00 on the scoreboard on Saturday, they're gonna take that jersey out from offense and defense and put it away because it's sacred now. It's a sacred number. And let me show you a little bit, and you can walk me through this process. So while that was going on in the stands, if you're a fan, you heard that, but I guess you said the family members were up in the press box. Is that correct?
Yeah, his mother and aunts and the uncle were up in the chancellor's suite, and the chancellor and AD Earl Hilton was honoring them with the gifts that we were giving them. So it was a beautiful moment, very touching, moved a lot of people to tears.
I bet.
Yeah. The mom, Miss Kelly, said that this gave her the closure that she needed after 43 years, man.
And that's the operative word I was looking for, because I'm sure 43 years, man. But when you lose a family member or a loved one like that, you probably remember exactly where you were doing, what the moment, it's like probably frozen in time, that experience. And as a mother, good Lord, you never get over that. But let me show you some photos that we got from the event. And so is this the group? This is the family members?
That's the Kelly family right there. That's correct. Awesome. Mom in the middle with the black hat on there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. She's 88 years old. 88 years young, I should say.
Yeah, she looks spry for her age, I tell you. And these are all the immediate family members. And then I guess this was kind of like the table and the stand you guys had for his jersey memorial.
Yeah, that was initially up in the Chancellor's Suite, and then we moved it down to the first floor of the stadium, right at the entrance, so that we could gather everybody together and some of the fans could see it as well.
Gotcha.
And we were able to use that memorial to gather a lot of the teammates from the 80s to take pictures around that as well. So it ended up being a wonderful experience. And at the end of it, man, we circled and said a powerful prayer, and which was also a very moving moment.
Right. So that's an up-close picture of the jersey framed and his photo. That's the chancellor, and I guess more family members aside. And that's beautiful, man. You guys did a first-rate job of getting this organized. Oh man, blue and gold flowers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find out who your florist is. I might steal that idea. My wife said
everything was done first rate. There were 2 people from athletics. Several people joined in on this whole ordeal, Samaj, but Shamika Pyfram and Sean Hendricks were just very instrumental.
Say those names again. Let's give some props. Who those people?
Shamika Pyfram and Sean Hendricks.
Gotcha.
They went above and beyond the Call of Duty. There were several people involved, like Billy Edgerton, Corbin Bradford, Thomas Coleman, Sherry Long, Brian Holloway. There were a lot of people that got involved, but those 2 really persevered and made this happen in a major way.
And of course, Earl Hilton and Chancellor James Martin, man.
Oh,
they lived up to their pledge. I know you guys have been trying to get this off the ground, and it doesn't happen until the administration gets all the red tape out the way and does it. And that's great. Let me see. You got some more photos. So that's a picture. Oh, that was a distinguished gentleman right there.
Yeah.
Oh man. And
that's a picture from Travis in high school. He was like a 3 sport letterman, all conference in several sports in high school. He came to A&T as a defensive back and ended up being a punter and was the second leading punter in the MEAC.
Mm. So, I mean, so he was an impact player. And, of course, from all the stories I heard from Hook and Kevin and you, is that what of a teammate he was. They said he was so mature beyond his years. And were you the one who told me that he was like a student minister or something like that?
Yes. He was ordained at the age of 17. Okay. And he was the youth president of the youth ministry at Wells Memorial Church of God in Christ, and he would preach there once a month. Trav used to do Bible study in his room after the games. Most of us were going out partying and doing what we do. Yeah. Trav would be in his room studying the Bible. He had Bible study. He would pray with several of our teammates. He was clearly the spiritual leader of our squad, man. He was a great dude. And even the older players, he was a junior in 82, but there were some fifth-year players that really looked up to and respected Travis.
Okay, so we're big, me and Craig, we're big on keeping those recipes, right? We don't want this important A&T history to ever be forgotten. So what can we do moving forward? So we had that beautiful tribute on Saturday. We're going to do everything in our power from the website to keep remembering Travis Kelly. What are you guys, and tell me a little bit about this group of you guys. I know it wasn't a one-man operation. Was it just the teammates from the 1982 season? Like who was your A-team committee?
There were, like I said, there were so many people involved. You mentioned Hooker. You mentioned Alan Hooker, Kevin Robinson. Right. One of those pictures showed my teammate Randall Ponder. Guys came from D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia. There was a brother there from Florida that played with us. So teammates, we have a team, kind of a group chat, man. And the week leading up to this, people were so excited about being there to support Trav and just spreading the word and doing whatever they could to make this successful. And they shared some of their personal stories with Travis's mom. And man, she was in tears. She said, "I never knew my son impacted so many people." It was amazing, brother.
Oh, man, that's all we want. Listen, Craig, you and I know you're a young guy. I'm getting up there in age, man. But all you want to do is be remembered and have your legacy intact. And for you to leave this physical plane and people still talking about you 40 years later, it showed that time you were on this planet was not in vain. You did something to touch others. And Craig, you were on campus. You were at that game. You were at that game, Craig, huh?
Yeah, I was. And it still haunts me to this day. It's you in the world of sports. We get caught up in all the hoopla and this, the games and the pageantry and all that sort of thing. But seeing that just is kind of like a reality jolt that life is more than just sports or having a good time, and you have to treasure every moment that you have, because you never know. You never know. Nothing is promised, and you have to value each and every moment of life and treasure it, and keep your priorities in order. So I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful tribute to a fine young man. By all accounts, was a symbol of what a student athlete and just a person should be, or strive to be, and it was a special day.
Samad, you mentioned the press conference on Monday. If you recall some of the things Coach Gibbs was describing of what he's looking for, all of that pointed to Travis Kelly, man. He was a dedicated player. He loved his teammates. He gave everything for this team. He literally died in his uniform. He was probably one of the hardest working guys on the team. He cared more about other players than anybody else. So when Coach Gibbs was talking about those kind of players that he wants in the program, I was immediately fast rewinding back to, man, that's who Travis Kelly was. I told this story earlier that, back in the 80s as a freshman, it was tough at A&T, man. We were greasing and we were doing, a freshman didn't get a whole lot of respect back in those days.
Yeah.
And a lot of us were thinking about transferring. Travis Kelly, personally, in my life, stopped me from thinking about transferring. He literally prayed with me one-on-one and helped me to get through that freshman year. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. And I owe most of that to Travis Kelly, man.
And so I understand that moving forward, it's just not going to be a one-off deal, right? So you guys are going to keep that story to keep being told to future generations. Like I say, we build a cookbook of all our recipes, and we keeping all those things together. But so what's the next step in this journey for you guys?
I'm glad you asked, man. We've been talking since Saturday. His sister Iris Kelly is very instrumental, and we've been putting our heads together to develop the Travis Kelly Foundation.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be bringing that together and giving some scholarships. We're trying to formulate who the scholarships are going to go to, how we're going to raise money. A perfect way to visualize it is that we said, man, this year, Monty Brown should have been on the Travis Kelly scholarship, that kind of thing. A person that's deserving of Travis's character and that sort of thing is the type of person we want to reward moving forward. So the Travis Kelly scholarship is going to be in place. We're lobbying to put the Travis Kelly Leadership Award in place for the end of the season banquet. And then A.D. Earl Hilton has said that we're not only moving the jersey off the racks, but we're going to put a task force together to officially retire the jersey and establish some protocol around retiring jerseys and honoring other fallen athletes. Because this is just not a situation with Travis. We've got other fallen athletes at A&T that we want to honor as well.
It's just great from Earl, because I love that official stamp. It's because that's what happened last time. It was like somebody said, unofficially we'll stop doing it, but then they leave the university and time happens, and you kind of forget about those promises. But if we get a protocol that's ironclad, then there's not going to be no more confusion.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Right.
So look, I lied to you. I said it's going to be 10, 15 minutes, but like you start talking about football, and I get carried away, man. But let's do this, man. When y'all get that foundation and y'all start, I know y'all working on just the kind of like the skeleton part of it. When y'all really get that ready to roll out, come back on the show, let us know, and then we could become people who help out with that. And it really is not everybody's talking about this giving campaign, but it's another arm to that, because history helps fundraising. When you know your history, you understand the significance of what we're fighting for, you're more prone to give back. And so telling this Travis Kelly story only is going to help the Aggies All In initiative, right? The more we educate people on A&T, the more they become potential donors. And I'm excited, man. It's been a rough season, but Saturday was definitely a high point. Just people who know what that journey has been about. And kudos to you for sticking through. I know it's probably a ton of times where you could just kick that thing to the side and picked up some stuff, other things to do, but you were diligent and you brought it home to the finish line.
Thanks, man. And one of the things that we're going to talk to Coach Gibbs about is we want every single person that puts on that blue and gold uniform in the future to know about the Travis Kelly story.
Oh, they will. If they watch this show, if they on our platform, I mean, they won't have an option not to. So
Right.
before we let this go, this guy, before we let Mr. Beans go, Craig, you have any other questions you want to throw at him?
No, I just say I think the scholarship is is long overdue. I'll say that is long overdue, and hopefully going forward that A&T powers that be will recognize these young men and young women who have come through and given their all for this university, and make Aggie Pride truly meet its standard. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm ecstatic, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know my man Hook is somewhere in front of a computer screen smiling, looking at this, because boy, he's been you guys. This I mean, I'm not sure how big your group is, but you guys y'all passionate about Travis Kelly, man.
Oh yeah,
You know,
no. It's personal, man.
Yeah,
because there is not a person that ever met Travis Kelly or played with him that didn't love him. He was that kind of person, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, Wallace. So
Okay.
we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And do not be a stranger. We're gonna get all the information from you in days and weeks ahead about this foundation y'all putting together. And I promise this won't be your last time on our platform. Hopefully we talk about some wins. You know, you can break down some victories, man.
The wins are coming, brother. Hang on.
I believe it. But thank you so much, man. And you guys, send my regard to your family.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. You guys take care. Be blessed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was
You too.
That's Wallace Means, man. He played football with the great Travis Kelly, and finally, after so many decades, they finally gave a fitting tribute. He said that his mother was in attendance, 88-year-old mom, and she felt closure, man. And you know how much peace that probably gave her. You know, in the golden years of her life, to finally have her son. And she said that was the first time she'd been back to A&T Aggie Stadium, with Truist Stadium now, since that tragic day. So I can imagine there's all the emotions going on. But yeah, great job. Yeah. So Craig, let's try to make this awkward segue back into some unimportant stuff, which is, you know, sports and, you know, in the football season. But we still got, you know, we've had 11 games. We signed up for 12. We're gonna play 12, damn it, right? And our focus now is picking up the pieces after Monmouth, that beat down, and finding a way to salvage the season against Elon. Craig, were you aware of a press conference that went down on Monday? Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, one or two things.
Yeah.
One or two things went down. Yeah, it was very point blank. There was no ambiguities in it.
No.
There was no coach speaking.
Yeah.
It was honest from the gut, and it bode as to what you can expect to see over the next 3 to 4 weeks, and on through the Christmas holidays. Coach Gibbs made no bones about it that changes are going to be made, and he pretty much laid out what his intentions were and what type of football team he intends to put together from going forward. So he's going to make some very interesting moves, and I imagine it'll probably start Sunday. If some of them haven't already been made.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
It's going to be interesting.
CT, I didn't really realize how big of a scope those changes will entail, because, you know, he's been lamenting about the culture in the locker room and saying, you know, focus and buy-in. That was a big word on Monday, the buy-in to the program. But it seems like it's not only the people wearing the jerseys, it's also the folks who, you know, got a whistle around the neck and some of his assistant coaches. So he's just seems to be at wit's end on how lack of commitment he's seeing around him. Let me go ahead, instead of trying to put words in his mouth, let me show you a couple excerpts from the press conference on Monday. And it was very telling, man. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna juxtapose that before we go to the press conference on Monday. Let me show you one of his first media interviews right at fall camp. And you know how they say, like, if you look at a president of the United States when they get sworn in, if you take a snapshot of when they get sworn in to the last day they leave office, how they just age and like they just have a jet black hair is like stone gray, and they got bags and wrinkles. Like the job is so stressful, it physically wears on you and just breaks you down. Let me show you Coach Gibbs before the 2025 regular season started. Let me show you this.
Long time since spring football and now fall camp, so we're just ready to go play. It's been a lot of talk. We're ready to stop talking and put our action onto the field. Well, I feel like we've gotten a lot better since the spring. Guys are starting to really buy in, but we're going to be a physical team that plays with a lot of effort. That's what you can expect, a lot of effort out of this team. Absolutely. And that's a testament to the coaching staff. Starting with our strength coach, Coach Harbor, who's probably had the most interaction with these kids throughout spring and fall camp. He's done a tremendous job, and then all of our assistant coaches, our coordinators have done a great job of running both sides of the ball, and the assistant coaches, position coaches have gotten these guys coached up. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting better each and every day. It's just as important as it is for everybody else. Everybody in the country is trying to get off to a good start. Everybody wants to go 1-0. Yeah, they're ready to go. These guys are excited. They come out to practice with energy every day, and we're ready to go prove that we're a better team than we've been in the past. And this is a new team. Don't judge us on anything from the past. Let's look forward to the future.
Okay, that was then. That was then, right?
Let me start by saying this. I'm tired. I'm tired of coming up here week after week.
And this is now, good Lord. And boy, it shows just right there and there how much of a beating this season has been on him. And this, I guess, is how he's just at his wit's end on how to get this figured out.
And saying the same things. But, you know, as the head coach of this football team, I understand that's my responsibility. I have to own the way that we're playing, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing. But I'm fully committed to changing this program for the better. But, you know, I also got to come up here today and speak from the heart. In today's college football climate, we don't get years to figure it out. You know, Coach Callahan at Monmouth, he's been up there 33 years. And I know I don't have that kind of time, and I understand that. And I know very well that next year must be a much better season. And I embrace that challenge. But, you know, my concern has never been next year. I'm not a person that operates like that. I believe in the now. So every week this season, my only concern has been doing whatever we can do to try to defeat our opponent, because I believe in getting it done now. And I believe that we can, and we could have gotten it done now. But to get this program to where we need it to go, we need coaches and players who are ready and who believe that we can get it done now, not later, and not when things settle, or not when we get our players in here, but get it done today. Get it.
All right, so let's just put a pin in it right there. I'm gonna get back to it. It's not good, but it's I don't know, boy, it's compelling, right? But he says coaches, and he says players and coaches, and he made the comment of, you know, not till you get our players in. Meaning that sounds like a comment that he was told by somebody specifically, that as an excuse, like, well, I don't have the players right now. This is Craig. Let Good Lord, just give me your thoughts. This seems pretty bad that you have to go in front of media and pretty much say, my coaches don't believe in the system, in the plan.
Well, you got to remember, Gibbs has a real high standard. He's been on staffs prior to becoming head coach down in Fort Valley. He had been on staffs that really pushed players. I mean, really pushed them. Sometimes pushed a few over the edge, maybe, and they couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle what I call blood and guts coaching, and I think those are the type of players that made A&T really the terror of the teams of the last decade, and that element is not there, and I think he's looking to bring that type of fierceness back to the program. It's going to take a big change in recruiting, and it's also probably going to be some staff changes. I would be shocked.
I can see. Well, I mean,
I may be shocked by who's there and who's not, but it would not surprise me. He's out of that Broadway coaching tree. If you were around, if you knew anything about Coach Broadway, he didn't accept mediocrity. He just refused to do it. And we saw him go through staff. His first couple of years, he went through 3 offensive coordinators in the first 3 years, till he got what he wanted, got the production he was looking for. He made position changes along the way when they weren't living up to where he wanted, to the level that he wanted to see them playing at, and Gibbs is no different. They're pretty much cut from the same cloth. They have different personalities, but their approach is pretty much the same. I think Coach Gibbs wears his emotions probably more openly wears them on his sleeve, where Coach Broadway was kind of like the wise old owl who you could tell what he was thinking, but he wasn't saying anything. But you knew something was up. Coach Gibbs, on the other hand, he's a different generation, and he speaks his mind. And,
yes, sir. Definitely.
But I can appreciate where he's coming from, because I concur with him. I have exactly some of the same thoughts as well. So he's gonna get it done. I have confidence in him. He's gonna get it done.
Yeah, and look, when you we're 2 what's our record now? 2-9 on the season. He, like he said,
2-9.
Gave up 60 points 4 times this year. I mean, that's almost half your games. That's a third of your games. You're giving up 60 burgers. You look at this. If I wouldn't recommend anybody, but if you like scary movies, you like horror films, go to the CAA website and look up statistics and look at where we stand on offense and especially defense. And we are dead last in the basement on almost every statistical category on as far as defense goes. But let me just get through a little bit more, because he has some sound bites. So let me get through this. Did I have it? Oops.
Now, see, I need guys that are concerned about beating Elon this week rather than thinking about what school they're going to transfer to next season. And I'll tell you the same thing I told them yesterday. If you're not all in, if your mind and your heart and your soul are somewhere else, then leave.
Damn it.
Go ahead and leave now.
Get your keys and go.
You got enough film. So, stop faking it. I can't stand fake love. I want to go forward with people that that love A&T, that are proud to wear the logo, that are proud and want to represent this university, that are willing to fight for this university every single day. And I don't stand up here. What I'm saying is not out of anger. It's honesty. It's passion. It's belief. Because I believe in this place. I believe in what A&T stands for. And I believe that we can turn this around with the right commitment, the right buy-in, and the right pride in who we are. We owe this university better. I owe this university better. And with humility and urgency and accountability and with a fire to get it right, we're going to build this program into something everybody can be proud of.
Wow. So that's he's saying a lot, man. And I really commend him for being transparent. I know he has a lot of tough decisions that he's going to have to face in the next couple of days. It don't seem like weeks. I think that might be what do you call it, Black Monday after that damn Elon game. We're gonna
the gates are gonna open.
So resumes gonna be updated. People gonna be on them Indeed.com looking for some stuff because it don't seem like he's bringing the whole band back. And it's a shame, man. I hope that everyone who sees that is not just got their popcorn and being a voyeur and like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I hope you guys understand, like, we need Sean to win. We need him to be successful because, I was talking to somebody outside of the program, and he's a coach in college football, and he told me something I didn't want to hear. And he said that a lot of people look at A&T as a CK. And you know what a CK is? It's a career killer, right? He said this is not a spot where you go and you right now and you flourish. That's the stigma that some people have. And you see Coach Washington, he inherited a program from Broadway, won 2 Celebration Bowls, 2 HBCU national titles, put guys in the pros. He got ran out of here. You got Vincent Brown. He was the defense coordinator, assistant head coach for like the number 4 team in the country. They went to the playoffs. They won the CAA the year before he got here. He only gets 2 years, and now he's out of football. I understand that the 2 coordinators that Coach Brown hired, Josh Zettenberg and my namesake David Marsh. I don't think they're coaching anywhere right now. So, and then Sean was one of the hottest guys in HBCU football. He went down to Fort Valley State. In 3 years, turned that program around. They went to a bowl game, had winning seasons, and now he's trying to fight just to get a third win. And he's talking about players going to have to, this roster going to get revamped. Coaches like this is it feels like it's almost like a Bermuda Triangle. People come in here and they can't get out. So I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just saying we need to change that narrative, and we need Sean to come in here and do what he do, get that old winning thing and be successful. And we need to do what we can to help and to empower him. But I gotta be honest with you, Craig. When you see that in the press conference and you see some scores, they look 63 points. This program is at a crossroads. Would you say?
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket science to figure that out. The biggest thing that Gibbs alluded to it in his press conference. He's got to get guys that want to be here. As you see so often, so much in college, especially in college sports, guys will come in and think that everything's going to be, pretty much a smooth go. They don't understand that this isn't high school anymore. You're not, it's not just go to class and go to class, then practice a couple hours after and go on home and go on about your business. Football on a Division I level is a commitment, and it's kind of like other coaches in other sports I've talked to, is that he's looking for guys who are going to want to be at A&T because they going to play at A&T that want to really be here, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Guys, it's a commitment, and it's not a halfway type of thing that you can just turn on and turn off. And that goes for the coaches as well. You get coaches who, especially, I hate to say this, but sometimes you get coaches who've been around for a long time become complacent. They do. Just like it's human nature. It's human nature. If you've been around for a long time, whether you've been at one place for a long time or been coaching a long time, you've been coaching the same way forever. You become complacent, and you get into a comfort zone, and it's hard to break. It's hard to break out of that when you're faced with adversity. So he's got some tough decisions to make. I don't envy him, and
I don't either.
As far as personnel is concerned, or coaching staff is concerned, because coaching staffs are usually pretty tight, especially if they've been together for a long time. Yeah, it makes it difficult to make decisions regarding somebody's welfare, because you're talking about somebody's welfare when you start talking about firing people. I know fans like to say, "Well, we need to fire this guy. We need to fire this guy, and this guy ain't getting it done. We need to fire him." Well, you got to remember, when you decide to do that, you got families involved, and that's always difficult. I don't know if I've never been in that situation where having being fired off of any job, but I've had to fire people before.
I've been canned,
and it's not easy. It's not easy to do that.
Yeah, I've been canned more than tuna, Craig. I can give you some if you need some expertise on how to get fired. I know all about that. We'll go ahead. I digress, Craig. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. And like this, the holiday season, and like you said, all these guys, he has I'm pretty sure a personal affinity for. Oh shoot, man! Talking about being the big boss making tough decisions. We got a long time. Been a while since we seen this guy, AD Fresh.
Hey, gosh, where he come from?
Hey, you talking about firing people, and then the big boss
milk carton come in good one day. I knew that picture on that milk carton would work.
Man, I miss you guys, man. What's up, guys?
Man,
hey, what's up, man?
Still here.
You missed the Travis Kelly tribute we had at the beginning. We had Wallace Means and his crew. They did a nice little. It was a labor of love, but they got it done, and we talked to him earlier in the show. And like I said, I put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to join the show, we all got a few more minutes here. I might have to cut a little bit short. My oldest son just got back from college, finished his final, and I promised him we're gonna go out for some fine dining tonight. So you know what that means, Dougie? You know what fine dining means? Oh yeah, I'm talking about Olive Garden. I'm talking about the OG. I'm talking about the original OG.
The original OG. Oh man, well he deserves it, man. He had a heck of a first year down there. Finish. Oh man, so take him out.
I can't spend all night with you broke folks. I got to go do some fine dining, man. Drink my lemonade with my pinky up in there. But so Doug, man, how you been doing, man? Hey man, I saw you at the tailgate. Almost gave you a hug in front of everybody. I miss you, man.
Doing well, man. Busy as ever, but enjoyed it, man. It's a good busy, you know.
Yeah.
As I say, man, anytime you get to wake up and think about athletics, let alone work in athletics, man, for me, that's a dream come true. So
Yeah.
I'm having plenty of dreams fulfilled right now, man. We're in a busy season. Of course, we advanced in the playoffs, so we play this Friday down in West Craven, Vanceboro, Craig Turner.
Okay.
We're trying to get all those logistics.
And this is as a high school athletic director, I don't think there's going to be a period of time where you're more busy than right now because everything overlaps. Basketball season started. Football, especially if your team is good, you're in the playoffs, and that's every week is a new it's a new process, getting people here and there, find out, am I on the road this week? We got home, so that's tough, man. But you're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you, Dougie. You make us proud. You
guys too kind, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, we got one of them. Oh, we got somebody we gotta celebrate and tell congratulations to. 94. What's going on, man? Kill all the background noise before you get on here. I don't want to hear no Wheel of Fortune in the background while we talk to you. What's going on, man?
Now, when I hit, I don't want to hear nothing about you deserve a cut.
Hey, listen, 94. Before we get started, I gotta give you props, man. You got named as one of the semifinalists to the prestigious Blue Death Valley Poster of the Year award. You and 10 other guys are vying for the honor of being a supreme misfit. And right now, all the fans from now until next Wednesday, they can go and vote for who they think is most worthy of that honor. And you're one of those guys. You put the work in. So kudos to you. But it's tough. Hey, that's some heavy hitters on that list.
I don't know if I should be saying thank you or get me off the list. I mean, but one thing about it, if we're gonna have this category, we're gonna have to monetize that. If I'm gonna be labeled a misfit, we got to get our. You need to monetize that.
Supreme.
You need to monetize.
Man. Yeah, man. I'm trying to find a NIL deal. Yeah, somebody can sponsor that bad boy. But yeah, man. So listen, you were at the. I saw you at the stands, man. You said, "What's up, Smaj?" And I just shook. I said, "Good Lord!" I said, "I can't talk right now. Meet me at headquarters in about 20 minutes." I talked to you at Doug's tailgate because that was rough. What was your overall thoughts of that experience on Saturday?
It's a process. It's a process that's going to take a little while longer. I think I shared this with somebody, and I may have put it in the forum, but I think Coach Gibbs may have been overconfident in his ability to turn things around immediately, and kind of seeing where we are. I still have full faith and confidence that we will be able to get this thing turned around, but it's going to be a process. It's going to be a challenge for sure.
And look, that's a good segue because I was going to put this out to the chat. Not to pile on or second guess, but just like we're trying to get some answers here. So, what do you think the biggest misstep or mistake or error in judgment that this coaching staff made this season? Did they pick the wrong guys in the depth chart? Did they chose the wrong type of defense to run? Did they have a ill-advised recruiting strategy? Because we want to correct this and not have to deal with this next year. So, if you're in the chat and you're watching, go give me a comment. What was, in your opinion, what was the biggest mistake that the coaching staff made this year that hopefully they can correct and not make next year? You said you think 94. You think he was just a little bit too confident that he could overhaul everything in one full swoop. You think that was kind of a bad decision?
I think and you mentioned it earlier. I mean, coming from the Broadway tree and his time here, I mean, he's been successful. I mean, when he got his first opportunity at Fort Valley State, he was successful. I mean, everywhere he's been, he's kind of seen that. So, and it's just kind of a natural thing when you believe in yourself. When you've been successful, I mean, you can conquer the world. And I just think that coming in and seeing the fact that he was in familiar territory. We got the formula. I mean, we got the secret sauce just to make this work. But the reality is that when you remove yourself for a little while, and when you have a break in continuity, it's amazing how quickly things can change, whether it be athletics or in the corporate world, whatever case may be. And I think you just got smacked with that a little bit.
Yeah, and me personally, I would say, I think the relative inexperience of his staff, his supporting staff, I think that it might have been error initially. Because I was looking at the depth chart and I saw how many freshmen and true freshmen are on the 2 deep. And we got freshmen starting, and then their backup was a freshman, right? And I was like, yeah, that's not a winning formula. You really want some veteran experience out there. But you look at his coordinators, right? And no knock on those guys. I think, everybody on that staff has proven themselves to be, good football guys. But I think altogether, you kind of have some blind spots. So you look at his coordinators, and I realized that I don't think both his coordinators together have 5 years experience at being coordinators, offensive and defense. And I believe this is the first time that both of those gentlemen were coordinating at the Division I level. I think, 3 years at Fort Valley State for Coach Jones, and I think a year or 2 years at a Division II school for Coach McGee. And like I say, you pair a young guy with a wily veteran, it's a good mix. But you just got a lot of young guys, all over the staff. That's might be where you're getting some of this frustration from coach. I'm just assuming. I don't have no internal knowledge, but I'm thinking maybe the makeup of his staff with so many young, and I know where it comes from. He's a young guy. He needed a break. Coach Hayes gave him his first opportunity. Coach Broadway gave him another opportunity. You want to empower and lift up the next generation of coaches. But I think I think you also need like somebody on staff who you can lean on, 11 o'clock at night, and they've been there before, and they can say, well, 10 years ago when I was kind of in your position, I did this and that, So
we've got some experience on staff, man. I mean, you go down the line, you think about, Coach Mattis, you think about Coach Henry, Coach Poole. Those guys got plenty of experience coaching, not only coaching but playing, and playing at a high level. So I think we've got some experience there. And although we have young guys that, like you said, can go 10 years back and talk about their experiences and the success they had 10 years coaching. I go back to your question about the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake the coach made, he already has apologized for publicly at the press conference. And that was yelling and barking at Hampton's head coach, telling him, "We're gonna kick your ass next year." Again. So that was the one mistake that I think that people kind of jumped on him for early on, or questioned early on, and he handled it. Immediately.
Not to cut you off, but that's a great point, because that might have contributed to some of the mixed signals, maybe not on his part, but just interpreted. There might have been some internal confusion from the people receiving his messaging, where they say, well, our coach is super bravado, maybe we should be more like that. And then that kind of spilled over to some lack of discipline. I'm just spitball, I'm not sure. But I think moving forward, he's going to have a more consistent message that he puts out. I think that's going to be his focus. Craig, anything you think that you would think he could want to do over? One thing you could pinpoint that says, probably should have went left and went right.
Yeah, I can think of one. I can think of a couple of things that I think that help attribute to the season that we had. I think may have overestimated the available talent that we had.
Yeah.
And I think he went on the assumption that guys would gravitate to his approach of, okay, this is a new day. We're gonna get back to doing just the basics again, like he's always harping about, how you conduct yourself on and off the field. Not what I call strict guidelines, but accountability. I think some of these guys did not take to that, and that's not just a problem here at A&T, but I think it's a problem across the board with a lot of college athletes that kids when they run into a system that demands more of them than what they're used to, they don't respond well. And I think he ran into a lot more of that than he had anticipated.
Yeah.
So and I think that's why he said the things he said about turning over roster, because he's going to look for people who will, like I said, who will respond to his style of coaching, and the culture that he wants to establish or reestablish at A&T. And it's going to take a different kind of mindset of the whoever he brings in here over these next couple months. There's got to be a change as far as the type of athlete and the type of mindset he's going to have, and also as far as coaches are concerned too, because I think he's looking for coaches who are going to keep after it and not be, like I said before, not be complacent. Just being good enough ain't gonna cut it with Gibbs. I can tell you that right now. Getting by ain't gonna cut it with him, and he's gonna look for coaches who's gonna push these guys and push them to the brink. But that's the only way you're gonna get better. You gotta, like I said, it's about commitment. If you're gonna participate in any activity at a high level or at the highest level, you got to be willing to commit all the way down the line. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to make that sacrifice and to put in that hard work and those long hours, the A&T is not going to be the place for you. And I think those are the things. I think the two things to me that stood out. If you want to talk about what precipitated his difficulties in year one.
When you guys say that's what, I mean, not necessarily the season or the record, because I'm sure if we asked you guys early on in the year if you'll take 2 CAA wins, versus no CAA wins, we would have taken that, especially considering where we're from.
Yeah.
And I would say that we expect Coach Gibbs to overhaul the roster. I think we could have called that shot, when he got hired. Like, that's what we've talked about. We're waiting on the ability to flip the roster and kind of develop his own program. So that's what every coach that's hired, but especially with Coach Gibbs and their group and what they've been able to do in the past in terms of recruiting wise, right? Like, we've always gotten the most out of the guys that we've gotten in. And so he'll have a chance to bring some of those guys in. And when you hear Coach Gibbs talk about the current climate of the team and where some of those guys are and what he appreciated most and what he'll miss most this year, he spoke of the seniors, right? And what do those guys have in common, with each other? The fact that they came in, or they're some of the last guys that he recruited here at A&T, right? He talked about Wesley Graves and Aaron and those guys and Cannon, how those guys were freshmen that he kind of in his last recruiting class before he left A&T. So he spoke of those kids, and those kids exhibit some of the character and the toughness that he's looking for. So not to knock any of the other kids that are sandwiched in between, but those guys know what they're looking for, and they know what they're going to go out and try to target out there in the recruiting world. So we'll see if they're able to bring those guys in, Craig. And I have total confidence in their ability to recruit. I've seen it firsthand, up close and personal. And when you go back and talk about the greats that have been here in the last 10, 15 years, 20 years, those guys on that staff have had a hand in bringing them in one way or another. So we'll see. I think the fun's just getting ready to begin.
Well, speaking of those greats, the all-time greats, we got an all-time great right now who's currently on the roster. So before we go any further on the show, I'll be remiss if we don't take a moment to honor and just, smell the roses. So this don't happen there all the time, but we got a generational talent right now in Andrew Money Brown. And he had one of the greatest performances in school history last Saturday, 4 field goals. We got 3 of them on video we're gonna show right now. But I just wanted, we can't just
be his third longest of the season. So very doable.
All 3 field goals.
This one is up, and it would have been good from 60.
That guy's a weapon.
From in between the hash marks.
And this is stuff you see in the NFL, man.
And this one, good again.
Yeah, Andrew Brown is...
He's ridiculous. Brown. A bullet.
Kicking that ball. Do you hear the ball coming off his foot?
You can hear it, man. Like, that's crazy. And listen, man, and he's so good
Program
now.
A&T design.
He's so good now that it's almost like he has a golf bag of different clubs he can use for different kicks. Like some of those balls go real high, some of them a little bit lower trajectory. I mean, whatever he needs to cut across the wind, he's so locked in, man. Like it's really a pleasure to watch somebody just master that craft like that. You know how crucial. What's the word? 94. Crucial. The SAT. I mean, you meant the kickers are. They sometimes they're temperamental. Sometimes they get wacky. But for you to be emotionally locked in and consistent, like he's been all season, and just being able to no matter the point in the game, people trying to block the kick. The snap's always good. We got to give props to our long snappers. But I mean, just being consistent. Just being consistent throughout this whole season. I know
his whole career. But this year he's like nationally ranked in percentage and I think makes. I think any moment now he's going to get that invite to the Legacy Bowl, and maybe some other bowls too.
Maybe that's what they're waiting on.
Senior
Bowl, all that stuff, man. Because, like I said, I asked him at the press conference. I asked Coach Gibbs. I was like, "Is this guy, in your opinion, the first ballot A&T Sports Hall of Famer?" He was like, "No doubt. You're the best ever at your position." So he's the best kicker in A&T history, and he's right amongst us right now. And we got one more game, one more time to see Andrew Brown and this 2025 roster of Aggies on the gridiron this week. I think at 2 p.m. is going to be in Elon. It's going to be the final game of the season. And I will encourage everybody, as beat down as we've been this year, go and just suck it up. Let's go one more round. Let's go to Elon and support our team, and especially guys like the Grave Digger, your guy Dougie. He was still running hard. One thing about Wesley Graves, he didn't slow down. He ain't lost no buy-in. Your boy Jameson Warren, man, all grown up. He's gonna be an honest man. Proposed to his girlfriend, they said at the game, man. 94. Where you propose to your wife at?
A restaurant here in Raleigh that's no longer in existence called Swings.
Swings, okay. So that's probably one of those Michelin star restaurants. So big money grip. Probably wowed her with your presentation. I can dig it.
Called MasterCard.
MasterCard, all right. CT, where did you propose to Mitzi at? What was your proposal to Mitzi? What was that like?
She proposed to me.
Oh, my man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Dougie, that's the reverse Uno card. Man. Oh boy.
See, when you got it going on like that, you can do that, man. But,
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll let you young guys figure it out for yourself in due time.
I can dig it. I can dig it, man. Like, say less. Say less.
That's
But,
it, man.
yeah. Well, hey, so guys, we gotta get out of here because, like I said, I got some fine dining in my own future. But listen, this has been a rough year. But we got one more episode. Hopefully, we get Doug on his schedule to work right because we got to do some Doug's dues, man. We might have to move some. We got to move around. This last show is all about you, Dougie. So you tell us what works best because there's a lot of players who have been politicking and they've been pulling me to the side, like sliding me a $20 handshake. They've been trying to clamor to be a Doug's dude because that's one of them things that live with you forever. And you don't play favorites. You don't do politics. This comes from your gut and your raw analysis. You're going to put out your 2025 Doug's Dudes team next week. And that's going to be a big deal. We're going to have, of course, the prestigious BlueDeathValley.com Poster of the Year winner. 94, the guy in the bottom left-hand screen, he's a nominee. And you can, if you like 94, what he's bringing to the table, you can go to the A&T fan forum and vote for him. The top vote getters are going to make this the final list. He's a semifinals right now. But let's get out of here, guys. I got some Olive Garden calling my name. Go ahead and 94. Give us a final thought. We get out of here.
2:00 Saturday. Let's go out. On a bang and get back in the lab. But I've seen enough to see this year that we're going to get it right. Just some growing pains, like I said earlier. And congratulations to your son. See how they play all rookie team?
Man, thank you, man. Like I said, you're talking about a rough season. The boys went 2-8, and they weren't outmatched in every game, but they're real young. Anytime you got a true freshman starting at quarterback, it kind of shows you your roster has some growing pains that's going to be enduring. But yeah, man, it's a great experience for him. And he's actually back down the hallway right now. So he got through it healthy, learned it a lot, and now he's trying to prepare himself for next year. He say he got the college experience out of his belt. Now he want to win. So I'm like, all right, hear you, man. Hear you talking. That's the mindset.
And shout out to Johnson C. Smith on their victorious CIAA championship game.
Now listen, if they had a sports book, I could have made some money because after my son played all those teams and I seen up close and personal. Johnson C. Smith was definitely the class of the CIAA from my perspective. And if A&T's in the they looking for the transfer portal. There's a bunch of dudes out of Johnson C. Smith who can come over here right now and contribute. Same as Virginia Union, man. I'll tell you about CIAA, and I was sleeping on it myself. I had to experience it personally. That's some talent in the CIAA. Like, there are some dudes that play in that CIAA, and a lot of them, they ain't coming to the FCS level. They're going to be at P4. That's how good they are. So don't sleep on that level of competition, man, because you will be surprised. But yeah, we found out last year, Winston State, they were middle of the pack team, and they took us overtime. So, any given Saturday, baby, it's CIAA. Like I said, CIAA is legit, man. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Doug, before I pass it on to you. They got some great coaches, man. What's guy Johnson Smith, Coach
Flowers,
man. Listen. I don't know how long he's gonna stay in Charlotte. Well, he might move across the street to UNC Charlotte because that dude can coach. And the Virginia Union guy, all these guys, they put in a lot of work. And don't sleep at all on Division II football. I can tell you personally, that's some good stuff. All right, Dougie. So we got a playoff game this week.
Playoff game down in West Craven, man. Vanceboro. We're down there to take care of business. Of course, basketball's underway. 252. Basketball's underway. We rocking and rolling. Wrestling's underway. Indoor track, you name it. We playing it right now. So, but enjoying it again, and looking forward to seeing the Aggies go down the road to Elon, man, take care of business, and kind of springboard us into the off season. But most excited about seeing my seniors one more time, man. As I say, I enjoy seeing guys walk in the door and show up on their visit, commit to us. But those guys that have been around, as I say, these are the COVID babies. Some of these guys have been around since pre-COVID, and they've seen a lot, right? 3 head coaches, numerous other position coaches, and teammates. They think about how many guys they've been around inside the locker room. So they're special guys, man. These guys have laid their bodies on the line, come back from injuries, come back to support the team. They've been awesome leaders. They've got the most out of college. So I really think a lot of these guys that are that we celebrated during senior day, most all of them have earned nicknames and hold special places in our heart. Have been a part of some big games. So like to send them out the right way. So hopefully the supporting cast will take care of business and go down there and beat another familiar foe, right? Like take care of business in North Carolina. And, we know what Elon looks like. They're thinking we're going to go down there and lay it down. But we're going to keep fighting, man. I want to see that fight that we showed early in the season till it's all zeros, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. And like I say, the name of this show, we call it the Exit Meeting, but that game on Saturday is going to be like an exit interview for a lot of players and coaches, man, because, that last impression might be the difference of you coming back here 2026. Are you going to be, guided personally to the transfer portal, or the, the coaching convention is going to be coming up pretty soon. So a lot of guys, a lot of people have a lot of stake in the outcome and the performance on Saturday. And I wish them the best. I don't want to see anybody lose a roster spot, lose their job. I want everybody to flourish. So, we pulling for them. All right, CT, give us the last word. Bring us home.
Well, going into the last game of the season, and, I know people are going to be picking Elon, but these are the type of games that are what I call character builders. It's been a long season. These guys, guys are pretty much beat up and probably mentally exhausted. But I got a funny feeling about this one that we're gonna show up and we're gonna play this week. How that's going to turn out, I don't know. But I don't see any more 60-point games, 60 points allowed game on the schedule for this week. I think this is going to be a game that A&T is going to play, and they're going to leave it out there on the field this last game of the season, and it's going to be a good one. So get there early. Don't get caught up in that Delaware State, South Carolina State deal. Tape it. It'll be there when you get home.
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
be there when you get home. Yeah. I know that's the game that everybody's talking about, but
right.
Yeah, I'll be at Elon. So, rest of y'all can be there too.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of, you talking about Division II, there's a bunch of HBCUs in Division II playoffs. And so last year, usually, you see HBCUs in playoffs and they end up one and done. Not so fast. Last year, I think Virginia Union got to like the third round. So it's a lot of parity in Division II football. You want to check that out. But and then basketball's heating up. We got a big win last night. Morgan State went up to Baltimore. Saw a lot of DMV and the Maryland Aggies. A lot of those AAF chapters organized a little turnout. That was good, man. I think Coach Ross really got that thing. But I'll start rolling. We got some injuries, but once we get healthy, we really gonna have some fun. But we'll see you guys next week for our last show of 2025. Excuse me, man. Getting old, bro. Vote for your favorite misfit. Go to the A&T fan forum. I'm not sure what Aggie 94's campaign budget is, but if you see any emails for him, just deal with him accordingly. He might be trying to gather votes at this late stage, man. But all right, guys, we gotta get out of here. 94, thank you for coming back. And then, of course, we want to shout out to Wallace Means. I guess earlier this episode talked about the unforgettable story of Travis Kelly and his legacy. And then, of course, AD Fresh, hardworking man. Oh, in High Point, in CT, the mayor, the president. I am Samaj Marsh. It's been a great episode of Inside the Valley. Gotta get out of here. See you next week. Peace. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.